Hey guys, it's Biggs, Mad Aquarist. Thanks for coming back. Today we got something really special for you today. You see this fine looking gentleman sitting here to my left. This is a good buddy of mine that's in from Germany, and he's here for a very important reason, but he's going to talk about that a little bit later. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good friend of mine, Mr. Andy Tanke.
Hi,
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Thank you for the invitation to be here.
It's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, I think about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that convention in Pennsylvania, it was a good time.
Yeah, it was pretty great again.
I thought, you know, like you and me know each other, we've seen each other at conventions and stuff like that, but you're really specific in the type of fish that you like, so I thought maybe we'd do a little interview for the guys out in YouTube world there and get them to kind of get to know you, because I do notice that mostly in YouTube, you tend to have an audience mostly where you are. So I'm being in Canada and I'm relatively new to it. I know that the bulk of my audience is going to be within North America. And you're from Germany. So like to me, if we can bridge the gap a little bit and bring that information and share it and everything like that a little bit closer, it'd be better. But before we get all that, why don't you tell me a little bit about you? Tell me a bit about your background.
Yeah, I'm aquarist since nearly 40 years. Like many others, I started as a young child. First, my parents have had a tank, and I was sitting the whole day in front of it.
Yeah, we have to point the finger at parents out there. They're usually the one to blame. For me, it was a doctor. So you should get him an aquarium. That'll make him calm down. Yeah. Clearly, that worked out well.
Yeah, and with my parents, I just sit the whole day in front of it. Then we have moved. The tank was broken. And it took then 1 or 2 years until my parents bought the new one, the new house. And yeah, then it took again 1 or 2 years until I got my first own tank. It was so around 10 years old. And then I started to get more and more tanks. But when I was 16, 18, again, some other interests come in front, and so
we don't need to go there.
There was a short break in, but then I think so around the year 2000 I started again, and this typical behavior. I bought one tank, the other, then it was 20, 40, and
we call that MTS here. MTS, multiple tank syndrome. You know. Yeah. It goes real fast.
In Germany, we call it Beckenvermehrungsvirus. Means the same.
Same thing.
It's typical for aquarists, and when you're one time infected with aquaristics, you're it for all time.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely crazy, and you can't be too long a dry aquarist. It's impossible.
Now, your passion is really in Plecos or Loracariids. Is that where it started when you were 10? Was that one of the first fish that you ended up with?
Similar. The first fish that I really loved was a loach. A sucker mouse loach. Yeah. But this sucker mouse stays until now. That's what I like really much, because it's so crazy. See the fish stay in the strongest rapids, and they just be able to suck there on the ground, on some rocks and so on. Yeah. It's absolutely fantastic to see this. And
so what broke up that honeymoon? Why aren't you doing loaches now?
I think it was mostly because I got so good contacts to South America, because of some friends who imported fish from there, and got there a really good relationship also to the Rio Xingu, my most liked river, and so
just the interest changed.
Yeah. And I have such. I think there are so many interesting things that you can learn in the nature of South America, and I'm just a small human being that just.
You're not a small human being.
Yes, okay. But I think it's too much information for me to get known everything about South America. About Asia, Africa, and so on. And so I try to concentrate me on South America, especially Brazil. And there are so many things that I have to learn that it's too much to take care for everything. That's the reason why I think it's better to concentrate on one small part and not take care for everything.
Okay. But your main interest is Plecos, Loracariids, as part of your shirt and stuff like that. Like,
yes.
Why them? What is it that you like about them? Like we had Daniel here a couple of months ago, and Daniel was just as impassioned about Plecos, but he likes the lips. It's a little bit weird if you guys saw the interview, but whatever. But what is it about Plecos?
But maybe next time I think I should have give him a pretty nice red lipstick, and then everything is fine.
Maybe, I don't know, yeah. He's a bit weird.
But no, I think, like I've told, this behavior with the sucker mouse, that it can suck everywhere, is really interesting. Also, with my favorite genus, with the Panaqolus, the behavior that they can eat wood. It's so crazy that they will be able. You put some youngsters in a breeding box, and I were away to work for 1 week, and no one was able to feed my fish. Just I've put some parts of bogwood in it, in the breeding box, and they are still alive. They were growing, and that was the best proof for myself also that they are really able to eat the wood and to digest it.
Well, they're getting the cellulose out of the wood is the main product that they need. That's their food source, is the cellulose.
Yeah.
I remember from a fish food manufacturing standpoint, we wanted to add products to the fish food that could mimic that by adding cellulose. But to cross international borders, you can't just throw wood. Wood is an agricultural product, and it falls under a different classification. So the one plant that we used was a weed, a North American weed, and I'm sure you have it there. It's called stinging nettle.
Yeah.
And it's one of the highest forms of cellulose in a green plant. By adding cellulose to fish foods, we could then mimic that thing. It was the same sort of compound that they needed out of it.
Yeah. But in general, in my tanks, I also feed often just standard food, also food with more protein, because sometimes they don't have so much time. It's also not bad to give them higher protein food, but just not so often. Because when you give it every day or several times a day, they get a little problem in body shape like others.
Like us, exactly. We're svelte.
And so when you feed them high protein food, maybe 2-3 times a week, not more often.
Okay.
Then you get problems.
Now, one thing that it's world, everybody in the world knows about it, but a lot of people don't really understand it. Can you tell us a bit about, like, when they find a new Pleco, it doesn't automatically get described. Like this one here doesn't have a name on it and stuff like that. Yeah. But once they actually get formally described, then they're described. But prior to that, they're given a numbering system. Can you go into detail about that for the YouTubers as to why it is and why it's important?
Yes, of course. It was in the late 80s. There were coming really lot of new Plecos from South America.
They have Xingu and the Tonkatins.
Xingu, Tocantins, Tapajos, and so on. They have started there searching for more Plecos, and nearly every week there were several new ones, and every exporting company has given them crazy fantasy names, and so it's not so easy. Then everyone knows from which species you're speaking. And
if another wholesaler gives them a different name, you're tricked into buying it thinking it's something different. It's the same fish.
And when a customer comes to the shop and says, "I want to have this fish," no one knows the name, and but he has a fish, but with another name, and so it makes no sense. So that's magazine with Rainer Stavikowski, Uli Schlieven, and Arthur Werner from Munich. They have sit together and have thought that's a good idea to give them a number, L for Loracariid, and the number in the order like they were published in that magazine. So it starts in with L1 in it was December 1988.
So as they were put into the magazine for Germany, that's how they got the numbering system.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That I didn't know. That's cool.
And that's the beginning, and that's also the reason why I'm in person really angry about this behavior from some really guys that just want to make money. That, for example, Pseudacanthicus leopardus got the so-called L600 Because in my opinion, it's a big problem. At the moment, Dutch magazine, the official publisher of L numbers, is around L510 or 15 actual.
Yeah.
And when they arrived at L600, there are two L600 on the market that destroys the complete system.
Yes.
So it's it's not really nice that someone make some fantasy L numbers just to sell the fish for a higher price.
Yeah. And you were telling me, we were talking about it yesterday, once a fish gets formally described, like Haipan Sister Zebra,
Yeah.
which used to be L46, L46 is no longer used, and it won't be reused for a new fish. It just doesn't
Yeah.
exist anymore.
Officially, yes, but people are lazy, I'm too, and so
They just know it as L46.
L46
Yeah.
is much shorter than Haipan Sister Zebra,
Yeah.
and so many people just call them L46, and I think there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
But from the scientific point, there's no more need to use this L number. But the great thing is also that now the scientists also use often in their descriptions of a new fish the L numbers, and that's really good. That shows that the system works, and many people has accepted it.
Yes.
That's in my opinion really good.
Yeah.
And a new L number, that's important, means not automatically that is really a new species. It's a new variation. Maybe it can
Until
be a
it
new
gets
species.
studied. Yes.
It is somewhere different to all other known plecos.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a different catch location.
And it might be a different patterning on the outside,
Yeah.
but it might just be a geographical variant. Yes.
And it's, in my opinion, it's just a hint for the scientists that later work on this species, so they can check, okay, there are different variations. We have to check if they are is this the same species or not. They have other methods and possibilities than we as hobbyists.
Yeah.
But it's good to give them as many information as possible to make a really good work.
Yeah, when we're bringing the fish in and we put it into a magazine like that, we're looking at a live specimen based on patterns and shapes
Yeah.
and the size of the fins and that sort of stuff. But when it comes down to a science standpoint, then they're using meuristics and morphometrics, and now they're even using molecular DNA
Yeah.
in a combination to figure out what this fish is and where it fits in the family tree,
Yeah.
how it's related and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's stuff you can't do by a picture.
Yes.
And too many aquarium hobbyists, in my opinion, and I'm sure you share it, they look at fish and they base everything based on the external of stuff. So if this one's orange and this one's blue, there must be different. And they can't wrap their head around it, that the fact that this might just be an isolated geographical variant of that same fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your main preference is this one genus, Panaqolus, correct?
Yes, of course.
And these are wood eaters, so these are true xylophages.
Yeah.
Okay. Now these fish, these gotta be better than those silly fish that Daniel Convetterline keeps, right?
Of course. In my opinion, absolutely is the greatest genus that you get.
Yeah.
Like this 403, a really pretty nice one. Comes from the Rio Anatu, the lower Rio Anatu, and has a really great pattern. And
Yeah, he's just looking at the lips.
yeah,
That's some very deviant behavior. We don't even fully understand what Daniel's doing.
yeah, I am not pretty sure on it. No, I don't say anything more.
Now, yesterday we had the opportunity, you and me and another guy, we were out touring around and doing some stuff, and like I saw you doing some weird behaviors. That's something that kind of I thought we need to talk about a little bit. Now, when you first met Daniel,
Yes.
were you aware that he was so enamored with birds? And maybe even more importantly, if you were aware, did you think less of him because of it?
I think, yeah.
Because birds are food, not friends. Fish are friends, not food.
Yeah.
You and I don't eat fish, right?
No.
See,
no.
we're good. We're good people. You see, we're taking care of the fish. But Daniel, he likes birds. That makes no sense. When he was here, he wanted to go look at birds, take pictures of birds in the winter. It's cold here. The winter time. The birds are hiding. They're away. They're trying to stay warm, not die in the cold. He's out there taking pictures of birds. I honestly think it's probably best that you just avoid him entirely.
But he was also sometimes on a small island at the northern coast of Germany. And also in the winter time has made their pictures of birds when he were there, and so
because everything was frozen, he couldn't go anywhere.
Maybe he needs it. I don't know why.
He needs something. That's right. He needs something. I don't know if it's birds, but I'd be concerned if you spent too much time with someone like Daniel and he was into birds, that it would kind of start being contagious, and you don't want that to happen. No. You want to stay with the fish. You're doing good with the fish. I saw you guys taking pictures of a sparrow on the ice yesterday, and I was kind of like, we need to talk about that. That's a bit of a concern.
Yeah,
I'm looking out for you.
I'm also interested in several animals and so on that I can take pictures of.
Oh, every other animal's fine, just not birds.
But it's just interest to see some more in wildlife and get pictures of them, but there's no special interest that I say I just need to make every picture of every bird or every ant.
Ants are fine, leaves are fine, trees are fine, anything else but birds. Unless you're doing research on birds for a culinary purpose, on how best to prepare said bird, then it's okay. So, we'll move back onto the plecos. Like that. Well, Andy, this one that's pictured on the screen right now, this one's actually a pretty special one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very special fish for me. In the year 2016, some scientists, Leandro Sousa and Christian Kramer, from Brazil and Germany, has described this wonderful Panaqolus. It was formerly known as L398, and they have described it as Panaqolus tankei. That was a really, really great honor for me to get a fish named after me.
And you're sure it's you? It's not like some other tanky guy that sells ice cream or something like that. They don't know.
It's directly dedicated to myself. And also in the etymology, they have written some really nice words. Because the one part is that they named it after me because many, many good discussions about this genus Panaqolus that I've had with both.
Yeah.
But furthermore was interesting for me that they have also realized what me and Ingo, especially me, done for the co-working between scientists and aquarists.
Yeah.
We have the L number days, and there we have brought scientists and aquarists close together. Before the scientists were here, the aquarists were here, and there was a big gap between both.
Yeah.
And now aquarists are really good in co-working to the scientists, gives them interesting information about breeding, behavior, and some more information about the fish. And so it's really good how the people work together, and that they have written also
on a very specific group of fish. All the just Loracariids, really.
No. Also, it's began like, for example, Louis Tenkert and Hans Evers working together very often, and some more. It starts. I think it starts with the L numbers and Plecos, but now there are more and more of the younger Brazilian scientists that are now try to work together with aquarists and get more information. Sometimes they make together some tours and trips. And
they're used to dealing with fish in the wild or in a lab, versus aquarists are used to dealing with it completely removed from that scenario in a glass box in their home, and they can really concentrate watching and seeing behaviors that they wouldn't necessarily ever see.
Yeah, and that's really great. So that's developed in this way. And that they have also dedicated to me that I've done this, and that makes me really happy.
It's
that
really
they
cool.
have realized it, and in general, I've never expected that it can happen so early. I'm now just 10-15 years back in the aquaristics and get a fish dedicated to me. In my opinion, it was much too early. I've expected maybe when I really do a lot in 30-40 years or someone else.
But people only have to spend about half an hour time with you, and your passion, not just for Loracariids, but for this particular genus, just comes out. It's obvious that your knowledge level at this, even though you've only been in it a short time, because you've concentrated your efforts on learning everything you can about this group of fish, you're at a very high level already. And you've done. That's a testament to you.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And so the good thing is there are several of these tiger plecos, but there are several of them not described until now. Maybe later they see that the same species and they will be merged together.
Yeah.
But this is the oldest name then, and this will stay for, I think nearly forever. Yeah. And all the others maybe can merge to it. So it was really great that this name will stay for a really, really long time.
That's cool.